and it's a nice place. It's what shall I say? It's famous for having the highest tide in the world, on the Bay of Fundy. And so the water comes way up, so many meters it goes up, and then it comes down. Every day it goes through that particular cycle, and so tourists come here. Tourists come to this area, New Brunswick in particular. The popular place is the Petitcodiac River, and they come to see the water just rush in and then slowly rush out. And so it's a big draw for people from all over the world. Yep. Okay, so let's get started because I just finished an interview and the topic was lust, and which is a very interesting appetite. And Krishna does address it in the Gita. And then in a half hour's time, I have to go to another program. So I'm going to cut myself a little short today, and we'll figure out how to continue our discussions for today. So please forgive me for that. Let's start with the prayers to Prabhupada and the regular mantras that we do. Haribol, Arjun Sukha, so nice to see you. All right. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tanamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai, Haribol. Thank you very much. Now let's turn to page 1. Please repeat after me from Bhagavad Gita, introduction. Om Jnana Timarandasya.
Om
Jnana
Jnananjana Shalakaya.
Shalakaya
Chakshurun Militam Yena.
Yena
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
I was born in the darkest ignorance.
I was born in the darkest ignorance.
And my spiritual master opened my eyes.
And my spiritual master opened my eyes
With the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
I offer my most respectful obeisances unto him.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai. Yugala Kishore, I recognized your voice, right?
Haribol, Maharaj. Haribol.
Thank you for being part of this group.
Maharaj, I was very sick for 2 weeks. I was telling Vaishnavi that I could not, I was bedridden.
Oh, no. What? Did you get COVID or?
Yeah, no, a nasty flu.
Oh, I see it's going around.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's why I was not able to attend for 2 weeks.
Okay. Good. I think last week, I can't remember. Was I on board with you, Prabhu's last week? Was I?
Yes,
I think I was. I was from Montreal. Well, Yugala Kishore, you're a veteran in this area. Maybe we'll just, when I have to leave, exit in 25 minutes or so, maybe you could just take over. Is that okay?
That would be fine, Maharaj. That would be fine.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so what verse are we on? Vaishnavi, she'll be giving us today's verse.
144, Maharaj.
144, okay. I heard 4, that's all I heard. 144, okay. So here we are, observing the armies, and it's chapter 1, text 44. Hobata mahat tapam kartum vivasita vayam yad raja sukalobhena huntum swa janam udyata. Translation. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Okay, We get one person to read the purport. What I think we should do is to just finish the chapter today. That's what we're going to shoot for. Okay, so maybe we should just, maybe it's a good idea, Vaishnavi, if we just queue everybody up now. Okay? Queue everybody. Okay, so one person read the purport, then we have verse 45. That's the next person, translation, the next one, purport. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Okay, let's do that. Let's do it all in one stroke. Okay, right now.
Okay. Arjun Saka, can you start because you came first? And then Mansi Ganga, and then Vasanta, Navayavana, and then I will do and then Vasanta. No, I already said Vasanta, and then Yugala Kishore, and then myself, and then we need.
Somebody can read. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports. All right. Okay, let's move along.
Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities.
Nice, thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Yadi mam apratikaram asastram sastra vanaya dhritarashtra rane hanyus tanme sematram bhavet. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Translation. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Should I go on?
Good.
It is the custom, according to the Kshatriya fighting principles, that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, decided that even if attacked by the enemy in such an awkward situation, he would not fight. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to the soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord.
Nice, thank you. Next. Next person, please.
Sanjay Uvacha Evam Uktvarjuna Sankhye Rathopastha Upavishat Visrajya Sa Charam Chapam Shoka Samvigana Manasaha.
Very good, thank you. Nice. Next.
Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
Good, nice. Next.
While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind of soft-hearted person in devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge.
All right. Wasn't Yugala in the group?
That's end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So starting from verse 44 and ending with 46, we now have the conclusion or the completion of our first chapter. At this point in the great delivery of words between Krishna and Arjuna, Arjuna is feeling quite helpless. He's feeling like he just wants to give up, and that he's determined to say, I think it's better if they just I will be unarmed and let the Kshatriyas do their dirty work. They will go to hell after all. They're greedy, and I don't see that we should get on their platform of greediness. We'll keep it to our level. So Sanjay, who's the initially with us on this chapter, is now concluding by letting the reader know, because he's able to have this mystic power to be able to see what's going on the battlefield, quite a few kilometers north of where he's sitting, and he's letting us see a visual, an optic, which is very powerful. Arjun just lets go. He says he's broken, and he puts down his bow and his arrows, and his mind is overwhelmed. Is the mental state is being presented by Sanjay, the physical actions of Arjun, and also his seemingly intellectual state. He sees no good karma coming from indulging in this kind of warfare. Of course, he's mistaken, but as Prabhupada makes it very clear, because he is soft-hearted and he is a devotee, he doesn't feel that he needs to be aggressive here. Other circumstances might call for it, but not in this circumstance. Krishna, however, will come back and say, no, it is time to be aggressive. It is time. So Arjuna has kind of lost his sense of Desha Kalapatra, his discernment, especially in the areas of time, place, circumstance. This circumstance, in many ways, is not different from any others. You're just talking about some people who are greedy, they just want to take over. They'll kill you. They'll take your wives, your children. They may kill the children, etc. All the and just run all over you, and that's never an option for Kshatriya. A real Kshatriya is one who will fight to the finish, and so we don't hear about that yet, Krishna's response, but it will come up. This is the time when Arjun has the most to say in the entire Gita. No other place in the Gita is, apart from the questions he has here and there, does he have so much, does he have the floor, just so to speak. There's no other time like now. So it's going to be, he'll be quiet at some point, and Krishna will do all the talking, but it's been basically Arjun and his rationale that has come forward, and it's just the rationale which has its limitation, because maybe coming from the mode of goodness. Krishna will help him to understand you have to have your thoughts, your buddhi has to go more, an extra stretch. And you have to come from a place which is more eternal or transcendental. Don't stay with this, these kind of arguments. It's arguments about I've heard from the biblical session. This is what we have to protect our people, our older folks. We can't let the women be husbandless. We can't, so on and so forth. It's just, it is, he's just not seeing things properly. And so, as is indicated in the last verse, he's overwhelmed, and he's especially overwhelmed with grief. He's very, very, very confused. Okay. And we like Arjun. We relate to him because we all hit moments of being confused.
Yeah.
We're not sure where, which direction to take. A lot of times we're sometimes poor at decision making, and that usually is due to a lack of connecting with your dharma, doing and knowing what's right and wrong. So the Gita is a strong affirmation telling us there is a right and there is a wrong. And on one level, a level of, let's say, goodness, a level of let's say, being moral. There's validity to that, but there comes a point in time where we have to look at what's a sanata dharmic, what's good for the soul in the end. Yeah, not just the body. And what comes to my mind is when Prabhupada first met his Guru Maharaj, his Guru saw Prabhupada. He's a young student. He had lots of energy. He looked intelligent and bright. He said, "Oh, you look like you're a very intelligent fellow. You should help us spread Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, the wisdom of the Gita, and so on." And Prabhupada his remark was, "Well, but don't we have to have some other business to take care of first? Shouldn't we be, getting the British out, like make some political moves, get the British out of here so that we can enjoy our Hindu Dharma, so to speak?" So the response that came back from Prabhupada's Guru says, no political maneuver is going to make a difference here. Your ability to share a higher consciousness is not dependent on some political move. So let us go ahead now and do what needs to be done. Let's do the optimum thing, the transcendental thing. Let's share this wisdom. And so that brings us back to the last portion of the Bhagavad Gita, where Sanjay, who's the last person to speak here, is speaking as echoing what Krishna is saying, that anybody who hears this wisdom is worshiping me by his intelligence. Anybody who repeats the message of the Gita is winning, getting some beautiful results, and is my favorite, is my favorite devotee of all. The one who shares the wisdom of the Gita is my real devotee. I have lots of devotees, Krishna's more or less saying, but the one who shares the wisdom and acts it out, he or she is my best devotee. Anya Priya Taro Bhuvi. Priya means is most dear to me. Good. So those are some things that I want to open up with. Now we can just, you can open up with your questions, concerns, or comments, and I will have to break away around 6:30, somewhere around there. Or 6:30 my time. You have a different time there. I'm 1 hour ahead of you. All right. Any comments?
Maharaj.
Yes.
Yeah, usually people who read Bhagavad Gita, they also have some kind of extrapolation in the sense that, we have seen through the first chapter how Arjuna is anguished because, he's facing, major decisions that, like you were saying, it's going to affect the entire kingdom, millions of people, like all wars are like that, whenever a country or nation or a kingdom goes to war, like you were saying, it impacts so many people. Now, some people extrapolate that the anguish that Arjuna was going through, that's existential anguish, that we also, in our own little worlds, we also go through this kind of traumas. Can we say that it's the same thing, that in that sense, extrapolating that kind of, existential problems? Like Arjuna was ready to receive the instruction from Krishna. Can we say that we can count on that in our preaching efforts to present the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita in the same terms? You're in trouble, you have this trouble, that trouble, so here is the solution. Can we say that?
Well, certainly a solution is to look at things beyond the modes of nature look at things more from a transcendental perspective, from the level of the soul as opposed to the body, that always applies during any difficult circumstance, isn't it? Um, so I think that's the vision or the kind of buddhi exercise of the intelligence has to be applied. Coming more from the point, I'm not this body, I'm a spirit, and from there truth comes. The mistake, the big error that people make in regards to when decisions are to be made is the fact that they feel I'm the body and the body needs to be pampered, nourished, and so on like that. And we look at some kind of, let's say, what we might consider to be a moral solution to the problem, maybe lacking depth. So what Krishna is going to tell Arjuna is applicable to all circumstances. Okay, let's look at dealing with death itself. You're going to die. You've got your days are numbered. How do you overcome what could be a highly emotional period? And the way to look at it is that, hey, I'm not this body. My body's suffering, but I'm not the body. So why am I getting so worked up about it? Let's transcend. The answer to most problems is to surrender to the circumstance, to the situation. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. That makes sense to me.
Good. Thank you. Anybody else? I mean, it's a real good drama right now. Arjun was, a very righteous kind of person, the one who's fought many battles in the past. At this point, he's kind of almost like giving up. I'm finished with my instruments. I'm finished with my tools. I'm packing it in. That's it. I've had enough. Sometimes we feel that way, and we feel like quitting. But the one beautiful thing that Krishna has to say, hey, don't quit. Don't ever quit on what is right. Quit on what's wrong. Right?
Mhm.
Any bad habits, any hankerings, the things that are harmful, hurtful. This is what we must try to overcome. And so we need to apply, again, the surrendering process.
Hare Krishna Maharaj and devotees, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please
So
accept mine.
yes, Maharaj. So did we read 1.42 or 43 today, or are we
But you came
discussing?
on late. We're 44, 45, and 46.
Okay, yes, okay.
We're
Yes.
finishing the chapter.
Okay, finishing the chapter. Okay, thank you, Maharaj.
No problem. Okay, any other points we need to do to
Arjuna has
explore?
a question. Arjuna has
Yes,
his hands up.
go ahead.
Arjuna?
So yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj. So basically, the first time I was trying to like come back to the movement, I read the Bhagavad Gita, but the first one I read, it wasn't by Srila Prabhupada. It was by somebody named Eswarang, and I couldn't understand it. And then when I read the Prabhupada's version, I started reading like at 8 p.m. and it was like 2 a.m. and I was still fascinated, and I liked this so much, and I was like, the first one I read, I was like, this is so confusing. I don't understand anything, because the problem is they're trying to say that we're God in here. Like we do have Krishna's energy, but it's very limited. So
Hmm.
the I was just
Your rendition, you're saying, if I could get a clarification, the version that you read is saying that we are God.
yeah. So it's like a kind of like a Mayavadi version of the Gita, and it's very
Mhm.
confusing because they don't make it clear. They just put Krishna like any other person, So it's very unfortunate that these kind of Gitas exist. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, the confusion part will be the whole world right now. Nobody really knows what to do or what they're doing here. So they just think it's let's just have fun and that's it. Let's have fun
Mhm.
and we can't have fun no more. But
Mhm.
they don't really understand what this is.
Mhm.
So I was just talking to the Wadi today, and I was saying that we have a very very important mission because, like Prabhupada was saying, we have to lead by example. So if we don't really, present what it is, we can really preach. So
Yeah, well, that's why it's good to you have to work with a guru, right? And if you work with guru, then you have God. But if you try to go to God without guru, without some kind of mentoring, yeah, you're cutting yourself short. So, you're talking about things were not clear at the first time, the first version you got from the Gita. So let's get to uh, the point of accuracy and hear from someone who's living it, someone who's breathing it, experiencing it. And that's just not the case with every author that comes out on the Bhagavad Gita. So, it's you have to make the right choice. You really have to do a little shopping, to get the right person to be able to convey to you the truth about the whole matter. It's a little bit like trying to find a partner in life, try to get the right person, or trying to find the right mango, the best mango that's displayed in the grocery store on the shelf. So just and know a little bit what to look for that right person or persons. Sometimes it's a group of people who all believe in the same tattva truth. I just have a friend in the car. Okay. So but okay. Okay. So I just wanted to say that thank you very much. I'm going to have to close off now. And Kishore, can you just take care of the rest?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm here.
I'm going into the dark right now. And enjoy your alligators over there.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you,
Thank
Maharaj.
you.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Audible. Take care.
thank you.
Vaishnavibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo.
What's the guy? Nicholas. Okay, take care. I'll just
Maharaj.
close up finishing a class here. This is Nicholas.
Okay, you guys.
Nicholas. Nick, there's so many Nicholases. It's
I
confusing.
had this guy on my boat.
You went to Ethiopia?
Well, he was on my boat because we used to take my family on the Toronto Harbor Water Taxi, right?
Okay.
So we
All right. Okay, we can keep going then, right?
Where is Maharaj that it's so dark outside? It's
Yeah, he said that he had needed to go to another program. All right, so if we have any other issues,
oh, he's okay.
Vaishnavi, I'm here, so whatever
Yes.
next step is going, let's do it.
Okay. So anybody else has any other questions?
Or
No.
even comments.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I want to add to what Maharaj so succinctly and nicely explained is that at the very end, the last verse, Prabhupada gives us the throughout this chapter, Prabhupada has been kind of doing a critique of the mental state of Arjuna, in previous verses. But at the very end, the last purport on this specific chapter, Prabhupada makes a balancing remark about Arjuna's mental state. He said here, such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. So I just want to add just one thought, that even though Arjuna was anguished about his situation because he was a devotee of Krishna, he had that soft-heartedness. If you compare that to Duryodhana was
We can't.
all along very much, belligerent. That's the word. He was very belligerent about the whole thing. Yet Arjun is displaying soft-heartedness, and Prabhupada explains that that particular attribute of a devotee, of a person, qualifies him to receive knowledge about the, from Krishna, from the, specifically from all the teachings that are common in the Bhagavad Gita. So anyway, that's what I wanted to add. Anybody else wants to share in their thoughts? Or questions?
No, I don't. I'm not. I don't think anyone.
What about you, Vaishnavi? What can
Um,
you add? You're a thoughtful thinker. I
Prabhu,
know you for so many years. Yes, Prabhu.
yeah, I was just going to say that, with regard to Ukraine and Russia, in the Western world, we are basically at a point where all efforts at peace have been exhausted, and it's time for the Western powers to treat this as a Kurukshetra kind of analogous situation and take up arms against, against Russia. I think it's very clear that the situation is completely, all peace avenues have been exhausted, and it's time to show them, that we are determined to fight on behalf of dharma, kind of. That's
This usually we have the I mean, it's a real problem. We cannot deny that. We had to be realist in that sense. But the world, this world always has been at war in Kali Yuga. I mean, for the last 5,000 years, somebody gets an itch, and they go and, and hassle another country, hassle another ethnic group, hassling this, hassling that. So now what you're saying, it's time to, Western powers, quote unquote, this is all going to happen in due course of time. So it is not really a matter of voting. I can vote for this, vote for that. It's really a matter of understanding the world implications of the development of this age. This age of Kali is characterized by specifically this kind of issues. What you're seeing in Europe right now, the Europeans saw it 75, 80 years ago, in two world wars.
Yeah.
And even before that, in the 1800s, the Europeans, they like war. Historically, if you look at it, you're not going to stop them from killing each other. And once Europeans they don't find, they want to find somebody else. Well, they go to Africa, they went to India, they went to South America, they came to North America. It's the same thing. So there is no such a thing as Western powers, kind of going on the dharmic side of things, because all these factors that you're looking at on the news, these are factors that are being moved by forces that are beyond our grasp and beyond our own decision-making power. These people are being moved by what I call social karma. Just like we are all being moved by our own individual karma.
Yeah.
We have certain kinds of sufferings, certain kinds of enjoyments at different times during our lifetime. The same thing happens to groups. The same thing happens to entire nations, to tribes, to civilizations even. So civilizations come and go, empires come and go, countries come and go. And so this is something that is you can say that this is not something you can just witness it. It is not that there is a rationality behind. There is no logos about this. It's like you were saying, they tried everything and they cannot agree on anything. They are being pushed from, you got crazy people in power and they'll do crazy things.
Yeah.
And because they are in power, the country has to go behind them, and they're just being moved. They're simply pawns being moved by the social forces of karmic reactions. Karma doesn't happen only at the individual level. It happens at the social level, at the national level, continental level, and that's what you're seeing in Europe. That's what you're seeing in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Everywhere is like that. So we as devotees of Krishna, the only thing we can do, we are engaged, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we want to bring peace to the world, peace to the world. That's our main motto. We have Prabhupada, if you look at Prabhupada's preaching classes, or even his Bhaktivedanta purports, Srila Prabhupada is very keen on going on one-to-one level with his reader and what he has to say, his message. A lot of the times that comes up preaching to us individually, the reader that is in front of the text. But actually, Prabhupada had also a social program that he oftentimes referred to as the 10,000 years. The 10,000 years starting from the time that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, 500 plus years ago, 550 years ago. He said, you count from there, 10,000 years into the future, that's how Krishna consciousness is going to last. After that, all hell is going to break loose. There will be no devotees. There will be no ISKCON. There will be no Krishna consciousness. And so we are progressively, the system of the world, the realpolitik, like they say in political science, is moving towards that area. And so the only thing we got to do ourselves is, like Maharaj was saying, we have to leave this philosophy. We have to live it out, live it in our own life, day in and day out. So we become an example to others. This is the only way we're going to convince the world that there is an alternative to their, crazy ideas. Is that we take the Krishna consciousness wholeheartedly. We live the philosophy day in and day out. And we individually, by doing that, we set in an example. Because trying to convince people to be good when they have all the powerful weapons at their fingertips, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So the only way we can do, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us, we have to engage in the prescribed sacrificial, the sacrifice for this age. Sankirtan Gyagya. That's all we got to do. There is nothing else we can do. There is no political philosophy that we can talk to them, you can find a lot of political dialogues or political discourse that Prabhupada introduces in a lot of his purpose in the first and second canto of the Bhagavatam. And along those lines, Prabhupada portrays this for the next 10,000 years. So all we got to do is train ourselves to live this philosophy, like Maharaj was saying, and set an example to eventually we have to become gurus. Eventually we have to become gurus, and we have to take that job seriously, because it's not just a matter of saving ourselves, saving our own skin. This Krishna consciousness movement is going to last 10,000 years. And so we have to we have to plant the seeds for the next generation. Once we are dead and gone, like Maharaj was saying, we have to face the music. Sooner or later, we have to leave this world. Sooner or later, we have to leave these bodies. But the legacy of the next 10,000 years has to be kept alive. And that is, in that sense, yes, like you were saying, we have to get involved at the social level, varnashram level. But it's not going to be by tweaking things, tweaking this, tweaking that. That is going to be done by the people who are, being elected. Like I said before, Sudras are electing Sudras. So they're going to fight it out themselves. But we are, we are kind of away, we are kind of looking, we're on the outside looking in into the situation. We are not inside trying to look out. It's the other way around. So we are presenting the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is brought down to us by the six Goswamis, brought down to us by the Acharyas all the way to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So we are imbibing all this thing. We live at our own individual level, our own mystical experience of Krishna consciousness. But that also becomes the basis for portraying the benefits of the Sankirtan movement to the world for a peaceful situation. And that's the idea of Srila Prabhupada. That's his social goals. Srila Prabhupada's social goals is to make the world, like we were saying, to build a house in which the whole world can live in. That means peace, social peace, national peace. And that's the only way. The only way we can do that is through the Sankirtan movement. There is no other way. That is gonna, when we convince enough people in the population on the countries where we live in, that is going to be naturally expressed in their social programs. It'll be expressed in their political programs. It's not that institutions are the only way that you can change the heart of people. You have to change the heart of people so that they can change the institutions, political institutions, economic institutions, cultural institutions. That change that you want to look at, peace in Europe, peace in the Middle East, peace there, peace over there, it's going to happen when the heart of men are peaceful, not the other way around.
So good answer, Prabhu. Thank you so much. But I think the same situation is playing out with respect to drugs, and so many things like cannabis, marijuana, and all this HCD, or what is that chemical?
Yeah.
All this, and then also sex. They make women, and both men and women, into objects of beauty, and it's all over the media. And
right. So therefore,
in Indian society, Western society, all societies, both sex and drugs are ravaging the God consciousness.
Right. I mean, that's obvious, and that's why we in the Krishna consciousness movement, we require members to first make a vow to avoid four sinful activities. What you just described can be easily avoided by taking a vow of purity.
Yeah.
Purity is going to conquer the world. Purity is, why do you think Prabhupada had such an impact on people? Because it's level of purity. You could feel it. When you were around Prabhupada, you could feel it at a distance. That's the attractive power of purity. And that is precisely the idea that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expresses in the first sloka of the Shikshastaka. First, we got to clean the heart. We got to clean our own hearts. And that brings purity. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in a very poetic language, expresses in that first sloka, Chittalarpanam Arjunam Bhava Mahatapagni Nirupatmanam. First and foremost, let's clean ourselves. Let's clean ourselves. And that cleansing is the cleansing of the heart. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu compares it to a temple, to a mirror, actually, to a mirror in the heart. And that's very, very interesting analogy that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uses, because what do we do every time we get up in the morning? We go to the mirror, isn't it?
Right.
We go, clean ourselves, brush our teeth, do this, do that, comb our hair, and the ladies put makeup, whatever. So, because we want, but if the mirror is dirty, if that mirror is dirty, you cannot accomplish that function. You have to clean the mirror first. So in order for us to see our own selves, the soul, when you cleanse the mirror of the heart, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uses that expression, the mirror of the heart. When you clean that mirror, then you can see yourself truly as a soul. So that's what it means, purity. By purity, we're going to conquer the world, not by anything else. Anybody else wants to add something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just wanted to say, I think society has a big issue because the problem here is that we need to start trying to control the mind. If the mind tells us, "Oh, I'm this body, I am the enjoyer, I want to be happy here," but the issue here is that there's no real happiness here because the problem is we had to pass. Now the
Correct.
issue is trying to bring the Krishna consciousness to people outside because they are so entangled with this material material gratification. So, and the issue here is that like other religions don't really help people with the issue that when they go to church for the most part is to ask, let me get this, let me get that. So it's just, even though they sometimes get it, I mean eventually Krishna will supply, but the problem here is that it's temporary, so it really
Yeah.
doesn't give happiness.
Right. Good point. That people will people will compare. If when we preach Krishna consciousness to others, we're going to be preaching to anyone. We don't know what religion they're ascribed to. But by our own example, they will see our happiness reflected in our faces, reflected in our behavior, reflected in our words. And they'll compare. They will compare. I mean, that's what I did. Most of the devotees I know, that's what they did. They saw the difference. They felt the difference. But that's a good point. That's a good point. Mother Nitai Priya.
Maharaj wrote a blog a little while ago called, I think, A Very Important Letter. And in it, he included a letter from Srila Prabhupada. And this discussion just got me thinking about this letter and how I think it's the devotee's responsibility, like ongoing responsibility, to find ongoing balance between, like starting with the self, right? Like be the change you want to see in the world, as they say. And knowing that we heal the world through, working on ourselves first and foremost, and that just kind of radiates outward. And then of course, Maharaj was saying today, like, those who share Krishna consciousness are dear to Krishna. So sometimes I feel like devotees, again, we get this kind of, like Srila Prabhupada said, like ISKCON does not own the patent on bhakti, something along those lines.
Right.
And in this letter here, that Maharaj posted in the blog, here's Srila Prabhupada's words. It says, ISKCON is a non-lucrative organization whose purpose is to promote the well-being of human society, and our members include people from Christian, Jewish, Muslim, as well as Hindu faiths. The aim of ISKCON is not to found a new religious sect, but to invoke the living entity's dormant love of God, and thus provide the human society with all faiths with a common platform of clear theistic knowledge and practice. Members of ISKCON may retain their own respective religious faiths, as ISKCON is meant to establish a clear, practical, common formulation of the common ideal of old theists and to defeat the unnecessary dogmatic wranglings that now divide and invalidate the theistic camp. This common ideal of theism is to develop love of God. We are following this in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya to invoke the dormant love of Godhead. So that just gets me to thinking, like, Srila Prabhupada, was really good at establishing that balance between, like, yes, we've got to go out and be warriors and share what we know, but at the same time, we've got to just encourage people where they are and know that it's not a situation of conversion, it's a situation of encouragement. And I think for me, that's always been my struggle, I think, is just balancing those two things between, like, working on myself first, knowing that I need to share Krishna consciousness, but balancing that out with not coming on like, hey, I've got something that's higher than yours, you really should do this kind of a thing. And that's why I'm so glad we have letters like this from Srila Prabhupada and devotees like Bhaktimarga Swami that kind of can help us in that balancing, like, as we move forward in sharing and understanding we have the highest philosophy, but at the same time, Srila Prabhupada has said things that might feel contradictory to that, where it's like, we do, but at the same time, we don't patent on bhakti. So I would just like to hear
Yeah.
your thoughts on that.
Actually, that line of thought also was expressed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because if you recall, during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Islam was very strong in India, the northern part of India. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was basically preaching an environment in which Islam was the predominant, or at least the religion that was in control of the state. And so, and there are pastimes that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed with several Muslim people. Two of them come to mind. The first and foremost is the I would call it conversion, but you don't want to use that word, I understand. But Haridas Thakur was a Muslim, and Haridas Thakur became the emblem of pure chanting of the holy name of Krishna. And like you were saying, all the thing that you just read actually is reflected in that pastime of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, basically, even the Hindus consider him to be a Muslim. But yet, Haridas Thakur, he just, like you were saying, he just chanted the holy name of Krishna, didn't have to change, his religion, whatever social convention imposed upon him. Oh, you're a Muslim. Okay, I'm a Muslim, so what? I'm just going to chant the holy name of Krishna. And he became the emblem, the highest, he became the epitome of a person who actually embraced the Krishna consciousness values, even though he never say, you got to give up your Muslim faith. He just kept going, like you were saying. He did the balance that you're talking about. Another example was the Kashi, whatever his name is. He was kind of the mayor of the town west of where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living, and there was if I recall correctly, there was a party, a Sankirtan party on the streets.
Yes, Shankasi.
The Shankasi. So there was a Sankirtan party, and then the Kashi sent, the police officers at the time, to restrain this devotees from chanting in public. And so the whole pastime developed into Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being confronted by the Kashi. And in the end, the Kashi realized, even though he was a Muslim, he realized, okay, the values that Nimai are presenting they're not sectarian, like you were saying, like you were reading from that blog, all these points. And that's the balance we should be, seeking out. We are not here, like you were saying, we're not here to belittling people or belittling their religious beliefs. We have to become experts at presenting Krishna consciousness in a way that's going to go through the hearts of the people. I mean, I remember myself when I got quote unquote converted. I was a young guy, 17 years old. And, through my schooling, I had a very good schooling somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So through my schooling, I was exposed to a lot of these ideas, history of religion, history of philosophy, and a history of rhetoric. And so
we lost you, at least I lost you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we lost him. Let me call him. Okay.
am I in?
Yes.
Yes. What happened, Prabhu?
I don't know. It
What did
just
you
went
do?
out. Nothing.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Mataji. And I think it's a good balancing points that you were making. So thank you, Nitai Priya. We gotta keep that balance. That's a fact. We cannot come too strong on people. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's values, the Krishna consciousness points of view, are are the blessings, and we gotta carry that blessings with the purity. We gotta, get on our knees, like they say, and pray to the Lord, pray to the spiritual masters, pray to the Parampara, pray to Srila Prabhupada, that we may become the instruments of their mercy and the instruments of their peace. We're talking about peace. So all the things, that's what can soften the heart, like Arjun, like Prabhupada was saying in the last purport of the last verse for this chapter. Soft-heartedness will win the day. Thank you. Anyway, Mataji. Anybody else? Vaishnavi, you want to add something before
No,
we?
I don't have anything to add. It was very nice. It's 5:58.
Right. So let's go to our own slogans. What's the slogan today?
Yeah, takeaways. Yeah.
Takeaways. Mine is Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Yay.
That's mine.
Okay.
Sheto Darpanam Arjunam.
There you go.
That's mine.
Okay. Arjuna?
Let's lead by example.
Very good one. Very good one.
Chaitanya Charan, can you speak? Okay, he may be not. Guy Gaura Prabhu? Guy Gaura Prabhu. Tribhuvaneshwari, are you there? Okay. Navayavana Dasi?
Mine is a little longer today.
That's the matter. Let's hear it.
Overcome doubts with having faith in Krishna.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Right.
Vitai Priya?
I'm sorry. I'm a little blank-headed. I apologize.
I would say balance. Balance is the middle way. It's the golden rule, balance in life. Even among the Greeks, extremes are not all. If you go on the extremes, one can become a fanatic or an atheist. So we are in between. We are neither fanatics nor atheists. We are in the middle.
Yeah. So Sandamini? Vasanta?
Wars are depressing.
What's that? Repeat.
I said wars are depressing.
Oh, good.
Okay, so we were having like a discussion about converting people. Let's not use that word. Can we use transformation of heart?
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, converting is got some bad connotations because in the West, the Western civilization, that's what they used to do. Convert people using the Bible, using the sword. The Muslims did the same thing. They used to convert it with a sword or with the Quran. The Hindus never did such a crazy stuff, but in the West, conversion. What?
We don't really convert people. It's a practice. We can't.
Right.
We can't do it,
Yeah.
They
conversion.
Yeah, they kill you if you leave. It's like a gang.
Right. Yeah, we shouldn't use that word. We gotta better find a word. Transformational what was it, Mataji?
Transformation of heart.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. Transformational thought. Prabhupada used to say, conscious, higher consciousness.
Yeah.
Offering higher consciousness, which is a way of transformation. You can get to transformational consciousness through, transformational thinking. That's Buddhi yoga, actually. if you think about it. Good. I'm going to start using that one. Transformational thinking. Thank you, thank you,
Yes.
ladies, gentlemen.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
And
Thank you.
Hare
very good
Krishna.
thought.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Kalpatarubyascha kripasindu
Kripa Sindhu Deva Cha
Vacha
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Have a
Hare
great weekend,
Krishna.
man.